The number of Ukrainian clashes with Wagner mercenaries in and around Bakhmut has decreased over the past few days, according to a spokesman for the Eastern Group of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Russia's private Wagner army began surrendering its positions to regular Russian troops this week after asserting full control of Bakhmut after the war's longest and bloodiest fighting. Wagner and the Russian Ministry of Defense claimed victory over Bakhmut on May 20, some 10 months after the heavy fighting for the city began, but Ukraine rejects the claim. Ukraine's defense leadership said its troops controlled a row of buildings and fortifications in the southwestern section of Bakhmut, but they were counterattacking on the town side in an attempt to encircle Russian troops inside the city. In a statement on Telegram, Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar said Russian forces continued to attack, but overall offensive activity had decreased. Fighters from the Special Operations Center A of the Security Service of Ukraine threw stones from the sky at the Russian invaders, destroying with kamikaze drones 2 tanks, a BM-21 Grad multiple rocket launcher system, and dozens of armored vehicles and vehicles. The press service of the Security Service of Ukraine announced this on its page on the social network Facebook, publishing a corresponding video edited from the footage taken both by the ammunition barrage itself and by the controlled unmanned aerial vehicle. Please note that all targets move, and therefore there is intervention in them. For example, a badly burnt tank, which after a direct hit drove deep into the field and stopped there. Since the kamikazes carried relatively large amounts of explosives, loss of personnel was also unavoidable. In another video, the Ukrainian Armed Forces of the 66th Separate Mechanized Brigade, with the help of the domestic anti-tank missile system Stugna-P, destroys a Russian invader tank located in a firing position at the edge of the forest. The unit's press service announced this on its own page on the social network Facebook, publishing a related video taken from the monitor of the ATGM operator. Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council Alexei Danilov said in an interview released on May 27 that Wagner's Russian mercenaries regrouped to 3 other locations after what he described as their partial withdrawal from Bakhmut. Speaking to the BBC in his office in Kiev, Danilov said that we only control a small part of the city, but stressed that Bakhmut has played a big role in this war. Even amid media reports exposing the huge cost of the Ukrainian war and the decision to continue to defend the city. On 22 May, the Kiev Independent reported that Bakhmut had been effectively captured by Russian forces. Also recently showed the latest video in which fighters of the 72nd Separate Mechanized Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, named after Black Zaporozhets, destroyed a BM-21 Grad salvo rocket system, an armored fighting vehicle, and a large number of Russian invaders. Their operators find targets at night and accurately hurl grenades at them, including setting fire to the aforementioned military equipment. Operative ZZSU announced this on its page on the social network Twitter, publishing a related video edited from footage taken by unmanned aerial vehicles. Another video shows Ukrainian troops destroying 3 Russian invaders' video surveillance systems, 2 Grenadier and 1 Murom, with a kamikaze drone. 2 video cameras are mounted on cell phone masts, which usually stand at the dominant height, and a third appears to be on a regular mast. Such a camera is invaluable, as it provides secure surveillance of enemy actions and adjusts fire on them. Meanwhile, Wagner's army could lose a staggering 40,000 men in their offensive on Bakhmut, according to a prominent Russian nationalist and critic of Putin's war in Ukraine. After nearly a year of fierce fighting, the Russian Defense Ministry last week finally declared it had captured the city of Donbas. The city has been the site of Europe's bloodiest and deadliest urban battles since World War II, claiming tens of thousands of lives on both sides. The General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported on 27 May that Russia had lost 206,200 soldiers in Ukraine since the start of the full-scale invasion, with an estimated 480 casualties as of 26 May. Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin, who has repeatedly accused the Russian Ministry of Defense of not stocking up on enough ammunition and of poorly planning the attack, claimed on May 25 that his mercenaries had started to withdraw from the town. The last day, in the direction of Kherson, the armed forces of Ukraine destroyed 35 attackers, 5 units of vehicles and armored vehicles, 2 Iranian kamikaze drones Shade 131-136, an operational tactical level unmanned aerial vehicle Orlan 10 and the video surveillance complex Murom M from the Russian occupiers. This was reported by the press service of the Southern Operations Command today in a May 26 report published on the official page of the social network Facebook. The fact that yesterday the aggressors dropped 3 guided aerial bombs on the Berislav district also draws attention. The attack took place in an agricultural area. Luckily, there were no casualties. The Ukrainian Air Force conducted 11 sorties against Russian concentrations of troops and equipment, the General Staff added. Over the past 24 hours, Russia launched 20 missiles, 68 airstrikes, and around 89 MLRS strikes against Ukraine. Russian troops are reportedly concentrating their efforts on carrying out attacks on Kupiansk, Lyman, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, and Marinka. Russian President Vladimir Putin, on the other hand, is obsessed with seizing Bakhmut, although many experts question its strategic value in the wider war. Some military analysts have branded the capture of the Donbas city as a major victory that has seriously drained the Kremlin's military resources ahead of the anticipated Ukrainian counteroffensive. Ukraine's daring and prolonged defense may also have thwarted Russia's ability to seize more territory in the region in the near future. Analysts say the Kremlin has lost so much in its efforts to secure Bakhmut that it seems unlikely its forces will be able to muster new resources to wage a successful battle on a similar scale elsewhere in the area.